Okay, so as our world is getting more and more dystopian, it is important for us to remember that we share so much more than we think, right? We share so much more in common than we were led to believe. And even though it is pretty hard to prove empirically, even though in my own anecdotal experiences, the vast majority of the people I met, I was able to make do, right? It's not like we all became friends in a happy little family with all the people I met, no. But I was able to negotiate, at least to an extent, with many people. Not everyone. Some people don't want to negotiate, right? But I was able to negotiate with the most people I met with from all over the world, and I traveled pretty extensively, so I went to a lot of places, and people everywhere are pretty similar, right? We all want to feel like we belong. We all want to feel like we are respected and well liked. We all want our basic needs to be taken care of. We want to take care of some of each other's needs. We may not have a certain preference for some sort of labor, but we do still want to be helpful, want to be well liked for the contributions that we make. And I started reading The Dawn of Everything, which is a very famous book that was published pretty recently. And I'm very excited to dive into it because it appears like it's going to support a lot of what I've been talking about here, based off of the works of Kropotkin and Engels, The Origins of the Family, Private Property and the State, and Kollontai's essay, and the work of Eleanor Burik Leacock, etc., etc. So all of this, I think, is going to also be largely supported by this book. And I did hear a lot about this book some time ago, but then it just fell off of the radar, or whatever the phrase is. And recently I was reminded of this as well, and I was like, that sounds like something I really need to read. It's going to be right up my alley for sure. I'm interested in seeing anthropological and archaeological data that these two people, Graeber and another person whose name I'm not sure how to pronounce, they, one is an anthropologist, the other one is an archaeologist, as far as I remember. So they've been working on this book for 10 years. So this is what it says in the preface, okay? So, and it is available online. So I'm very excited to read it because I do need some hope. Everybody nowadays needs a little bit of hope because the nuclear war threat is as real as ever. And what's been happening globally in the past couple of years is pretty terrifying, right? It is the escalation of possibly World War III. There's still a lot of debate going on about whether it is going to start or whether it's already started. Honestly, I think that we are observing a lot of human loss already. It doesn't really matter what we call it. What matters is that none of these people are going to spring back to life. None of these places are going to rebuild themselves. And we've got to remember that these are people who are now dying because of a few greedy fucks who want to hold on to power. And these are not even politicians, you guys, come on. It is the oligarchs who want to stay in the shadows. And if you want to get all conspiratorial, call them whatever you want to call them. But they're people made of flesh and bones, just like you and I, who supposedly have the same needs. They have the same needs as I listed before. They want to be well liked and respected. They want to be perceived as a good person. They want to feel like they belong, yet this is what they're choosing to do. They choose to use human life as pawns. They choose to use all the technology and scientific advancements to destroy rather than to create. So they've made their choices abundantly clear. They're not evil in intention. They're evil in what they do. Their actions speak louder than their words. It doesn't matter what kind of an ideological piece of nonsense they're going to try and feed us all in the next few months or even a few days. What, if you want to call it manufacturing consent, you can. I don't really care. They're not even trying hard anymore, right? They're not even trying to convince anyone around the world, and in America specifically, that this is going to be a holy war that they're going to enter. They're not even trying. They're not even attempting to justify their actions. They're just like, we are going to do what we're going to do, okay? We do what we see fit because we are the powerful, right? We are the empire. And this is how they operate. You know, empires operate this way. It is those groups of people that continuously accumulate power, and their perception of the world gets so distorted. They do not see reality. But the vast majority of us don't see the reality either. This is why I keep talking about the fragmented self, as Marina Burik in her work, A Virtualized World of Capitalism, suggests we call it. The fragmentation processes have touched all of us, the bourgeoisie included. We're all fragmented. We all feel isolated and lonely and like we don't belong and like something is wrong. And something is wrong. It is not just the fact that we do not share the fruits of the labor equally, or that we do not have access to basic necessities. It is also the fact that the division of labor causes us all to feel like what we do doesn't matter. And for some professions and occupations, it actually is so. There's so many people who work in marketing and advertising, and in all honesty, what they do doesn't matter. It is not bringing any good to humanity. But the fault lies not with these individuals who have to do this work because this is what they just happen to be good at, etc., etc. Or maybe they're not even good at it. Maybe they just happen to be at the wrong time, at the wrong place, and this is what they do for a living now. I'm never going to accuse individuals. They do what they have to. They do what they can, as long as it doesn't involve murdering thousands upon thousands of civilians, or even hundreds of civilians, or even tens of civilians. As long as it doesn't require human sacrifice, I'm okay with whatever it is you're doing. And also, of course, I do care about the underpinnings, right? The implicit possible meaning of your job. So there are some occupations that may be criticized a little bit more heavily, but this is not what this video is all about. This is the video about the fact that we are so much more similar. All of these separations that we have been creating over the past few hundred or maybe a couple of thousand years, they're minuscule and they're so trivial. They're so small. Remember I told you about the best dystopian comedy of the 20th century, in my opinion, the Soviet one, Kindzadza, where when they shone the light on each other and it showed different colors, this is how they segregated their society. If an orange light or a red light or whatever kind of light shines on you, you are a privileged person by the right of birth, right? And when the Earthians asked why, what does it indicate? Is it like a race or is it an ethnicity? What is it? And those aliens were like, you guys can't see color? You can't tell colors apart? This is orange. This is blue. Or whatever the colors were. This is very clearly different. To me, this is the exact same scenario we're undergoing right now. These are the people supposedly so vastly different from us that we have to justify killing them. And again, the bourgeoisie, they know exactly what they're doing. They don't care about what kind of children they're gonna bomb. They don't care if these children are white, black, any other kind of color, if they're Christian, Jewish, Orthodox, Muslim, you name it. They don't care. They literally do not care about any of these things, but they're going to pour a lot of resources into the media to try and convince groups of people in their countries that this matters somehow. Because divide and conquer is a very good technique, and I am so tired of seeing grown-ass adult people taking all these things seriously. And I just wish everybody could travel extensively and see the world and read extensively and see the past, see how the people were thinking in all these different places. For thousands of years, we shared the same struggles. We all wanted to love and be loved, belong, and do something useful to our communities, etc., etc. All of these stories, ancient Greek stories, ancient Roman stories, all kinds of Eastern stories. We can see throughout different nations the same archetypes arise, the same symbolism is present in most cultures, because we people are so similar. We share so much, yet We allow capital to destroy us. We keep on letting this fear and this childish greed just keep us in this grip. And it is so annoying and frustrating and sad and irritating and anguish feeling, because you look at all the people who are so similar, who have very similar struggles, and yet they are willing to go to another country to kill the likes of them. And it is like you're looking in the mirror and you're trying to stab your mirror multiple times with a knife, because you cannot accept that this is who you are, that you are human just like all of these people. By participating in war, we're all killing ourselves. And I've already come here crying about how sad it is that, you know, old people are not being taken care of in my country nowadays. And I've come here and I've tried my best not to cry about other things. But you know what? It's okay if we sit and cry about how sad we are because people thousands of miles or thousands of kilometers away from us are being bombed into nothingness. And then after we've cried, we need to get up and do something that is going to help prevent this in the future. And it is only going to be possible to do in large numbers. So we need to mobilize, we need to organize as soon as possible, if not for the sake of these other people, for our own sake, because they don't care about your skin color, they don't care what language you speak, they don't care about you, they don't care about me, they don't care about anyone but a select clique of people that they've surrounded themselves with. And that is not because they're uniquely evil. That is because they have been plagued by the same problems that we have, and they have succumbed to fear. When you succumb to fear, you become increasingly isolationist. So we need to understand that capitalism is a disease that has to be eradicated once and for all. Otherwise, it's going to continuously kill innocent people. It's going to continuously bring devastation upon the lands, and we need to put a stop to it now and for all. And I hope you have a great day today. Consider supporting me on Patreon. Do take care of yourself and your community first. Subscribe to me on all the social medias, even though I don't do much there, and I'll talk to you sometime later.